Okay, all right. So, good evening, everyone. I think my voice is audible, and also I'm sharing my screen. 1 minute. Yeah. Now you are able to see my screen. Just you can chat over there, able to see my screen, and also able to what listen to me. So if you chat there, so I can start. So I don't want, because sometimes I keep on speaking and later I'll come to know that students are not able to listen. So let us not do that again. So anyone can chat. If my voice is audible, so better let me use notepad as a reference. Voice is clear and you can see my screen. Just chat as yes, so that we are good to go. Okay, great, people are interested. Cool. Yeah, I came to know. So maybe I didn't speak with my counselor regarding what is you guys are doing, whether most of the people are fresher or working or something. So I don't want to waste a time here. So let us do with our classes. I can even contact you, connect with you offline. So as it's my interest, so I will definitely ask my counselor to interact with you, any concern you have on anything, and later they will call me back and I can connect with you. So it's all about, what technology I'll be doing is big data, but big data constitutes of lot of things. Okay, so I will give you a high level idea. So big data constitutes lot of things. Big data is a ecosystem. We call big data as an ecosystem. Okay, basically big data is called as a vehicle. This is better way to tell. Vehicle, I have just told vehicle, but inside that what is there? Inside that we have lot of vehicle, right? If I come to the car segment, vehicle car segment, inside vehicle car segment you have hundreds of car, or maybe 20-30 cars in the Indian market. The same way, under this we have a Hadoop software. In this, maybe Hadoop software you can call it as a car. Big data you can call it as a vehicle segment. In this Hadoop software you can call it as car segment. Inside this there are many softwares. You have multiple car, right? You have Maruti car, BMW car, Audi car, a Tesla car will come, electric car will come. The same way you have lot of tools inside this. We call Hadoop software as an ecosystem. Always the meaning of ecosystem is not a single tool or a single software. Multiple softwares are there, because you get a different kind of data in today's world. Like you get structured data, semi-structured data. That is how I design in the company. Like you have a customer with a less data. Okay, what logic or what design we give for a big vendor like Bank of America, I cannot give for cooperative bank. It will not work. For both the people, with the design, with the amount they are spending, we have to give a different software. So that is what a designing things happen, and that is where you should also know the tools. Know the tools means not theoretically, no fun, no one will give you a job. So one of the famous tool is Hive, where most of the company use. It is same as the SQL. If you know SQL, you should feel happy, because it is almost like an SQL. It's not very complicated. And other tools like Scoop. I don't want to elaborate this, just I want to tell right now what are all the tools are there under big data. Basically I want to say under Hadoop software. Okay, so you can think as everything as different car. Hive is one car, Scoop is one car, and you have Flume. You want a real-time data. Today the word is all about real-time data. Real-time data means what? Now in your watch, you have a smart watch, you are coming to know heart rate. Not only you, I will also come to know, because your data through internet will sync to the cloud. From cloud I'll get in a fraction of seconds, not less than 1 minute. Even the Uber does that based on the traffic. Many people today do the real-time data. This Flume, even the Kafka is very famous. Even this handles the real-time data. Okay, and people know all these things, they are paid very high in a bomb shot. And I will tell you, some of the companies mainly work on the real-time data. Actually, data loading comes in two types, but again it becomes technical. You should always have patience to slowly understand. Even you understand some, you don't understand some more, you need not to worry. Maybe what we can do, we can have a one WhatsApp group and we can start taking the question. One thing I would ask you guys, because lot of things I speak is technical. Right now I speak about batch data, real-time data. Okay, so I might not be able to tell this elaborately because this will take 15 minutes and I lose something what I wanted to speak. So it's your responsibility to make a note, batch and real-time data, and give me a question, throw me a question. Maybe if you find it at the end of a session, I'll answer. Okay, that is a good way. You make a note. People don't understand what is this. You make a note and ask me at the end of the session. Or still, okay, you are hesitant to ask. We will make a WhatsApp group. You can ask me, I'll also be there. You can send in a group so others will also understand, or you can WhatsApp me personally and I will give you more information, more idea, because I'll be speaking about tools and I try to teach you this, I will lose my path. Okay, so right now I don't want to elaborate. Usually most of the companies work with batch and real-time data. Real-time data means straightforward. In fraction of seconds, in 1 minute, within 1 minute, your iPhone or any data you have, as a company, I should get that information in a fraction of second. Uber is a very good example. Based on the traffic, price is detected. Batch time data is not real time data. That means you will have a data of 2 days or 3 days prior. 2 days or 3 days prior. So what I mean to say is, Flume and Kafka is highly concentrate on real time data. Within a minute, you are doing something, for example booking something, or in Amazon you are doing, Amazon has to get the information within a second. This guy has booked this in Bangalore, so many people have booked in this second this kind of product. So this becomes real time data. Batch time data is, it's not immediately. You will get the data if you have booked some product in Amazon or done some activity through online. A company will not get today, they will get maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. That becomes a batch kind of data. Usually all the data, basically all big data products or ETL products are basically designed with these two kind of pipelines. We call it as pipelines. We basically call it as ETL pipelines. Maybe some people don't understand ETL. Make a note of all these things. Okay, ETL pipeline. Okay, so usually one pipeline would be done with batch pipeline, one pipeline would be done with real-time pipeline. So some companies mainly work on real-time pipeline. They use Flume and Kafka. Just I am telling the names. It is technically we will see how to do it. So just telling what are the tools. Don't forget our purpose. I was discussing and telling big data is something like a vehicle. Under it we have Hadoop software. It's like a car segment. Under car we have lot of cars, right? All these things we will be learning. Hive, Scoop, Flume, Kafka, and very famous this day is Spark. Why? Because Spark can do both kind of thing in a single thing. It can do batch data handling and real-time data handling. And it's super fast. Super fast, like it is 100 times faster than these two tools. Usually it's very fast, 100x faster, they tell it. And you should know Spark is what most of the company, if you ask me, based on my experience, my student, and what are the projects I have worked, most of the projects, 80% of the projects, okay, common, if anyone says big data, learning wise you will learn lot of tools, but straightforward, because you are learning from a person who is working in a company. I am not a theoretical person. I will tell you, you learn this and all. Practically speaking, each and every interview, 80% to 90% of the companies, they work with Hive plus Spark. If you know this, most of the jobs you get, Okay, you need not to learn, you have 7-8 tools like this, you need not to learn all these things. Okay, you have even HBase here, I didn't mention it, you have HBase, it is a NoSQL. It's not so popular, but we have to learn. Sometimes in interview they will ask. So Spark, okay, Spark and all I will decode it, means I will try to teach you completely the architecture, how it works and all. Now I am just telling with the name. So Spark is basically built with what you know. Spark is basically built with Scala. And let me tell you, even Kafka I have written, right? Kafka is also built on a programming language Scala. So Kafka is very popular for real-time data handling. Many people look only for Kafka and pay you a very good package. And many times, obviously, Spark is built on Scala. Scala is a programming language which I believe most of the people have not heard. And obviously you would have not heard because it was not so popular in your college days, because college days it was mainly Java is a super language, sometimes .NET, and before that C or C++. Scala programming language is not heard by most of the people. You will find only 4% of developer in the market. 4% developers are there in the market. That means out of 100 developers, you have only 4 Scala people. And why Scala became famous? Scala became very famous because it has used some of the application. It has built some of the very popular application of the big data. One is Spark, one is Kafka, and other web development application it has built. I don't want to tell about those things because it's not our focus. So it has built Spark. Spark is a super fast, every company uses. Big data means Spark. If you know Spark only, you will get a job. If you don't know Spark, you will never get a job. And it is built on Scala. And Scala is built on JVM. Scala is built on JVM means Java Virtual Machine. That means what? Even you can, if you have a Scala compiler, even you can run Java program. And it has taken used of all the Java advantages and it has its own advantages. That means you can tell it is the next level of Java. Next level of Java. Obviously, if a new programming language is built, it will take all the advantages of old programming language plus new programming language. You call Java as only object oriented. You call Java as only object oriented. Better to write OOPS, object oriented programming language. But Scala is called object oriented programming language plus functional language. What is this functional language and all, I'll tell you later. Simple way I want to tell, it can take input as a function, which many of the programming language it can't take. This is a simple example, but many things it can do. Function is given as a first class citizen, like it can pass one function to one more function. It will not have side effects. I don't want to tell about all those things, you will get confused. But just concentrate. Scala has used all the advantages of Java and it has used even functional language. Many of the functional language features is used inside the Java right now. Okay, so obviously Scala developers are very less, and let me tell you the trick. Because of this, what will happen? No, company wants a Scala developer, they don't get. And if you know Scala, you are paid highly because people are very less. And let me tell you, you speak about Python, that also I'll teach. The one thing which most of the students, I always worry or I always get confused is, see, learning programming language is not a big deal. It's a play with some syntax. Play with the syntax. You know one programming language, you can learn one more programming language. That's all. And let me tell you, Scala, Python is very easy. You know Scala, you can learn Python in 4-5 days. That's maximum. Okay, even the Java, why Scala has become very popular. If I want to speak about advantages between Java and Python, sorry, not with Python, Java and Scala. See, Java coding is very tough. You have curly braces, that braces, this braces. It makes your life hell. And coding is too much. In Java, to write a small program, coding is too much. You have to write 100 lines here. But the same thing in Scala you can do in 10 lines. This is one of the popular feature why Scala became famous. It has used all the feature of Java. See, better than Python is Java, because you should know there are millions of applications built in Java. Java is a static language and Python is a dynamic language. But you will not know why dynamic, why Python, you will get confused. I don't want to go into static and dynamic. I want to show practically a simple coding so you get the confidence. If I start speaking theory, you will also not understand. See, Java, simple words I'll tell. See, Java is mainly good today also to build a very strong applications. Python is dynamic and it creates lot of errors because of its dynamic nature. One of the dynamic nature, it makes the code very simple. You don't have any curly braces. If you have learned or have any idea about Python, which again in my course I'll be teaching, okay, it's very simple. You don't have any curly braces. It makes the life very simple and it is dynamic. The advantage is also there, but disadvantage of dynamic language is when you compile, when you are compiling and creating an executable file, lot of errors will come. But Java is static and Scala is static. That means before compiling you build some rules and give it to that, so that errors would be very less. See the advantage of Java, Scala I want to say. In Java you have to write 100 lines of code being static, but in Scala being static you just write 10 lines of code. It's very simple. You can even write in 4-5 lines of code, do a complex logic which could have never been done in Java. Okay, so and why we have to learn Scala? Because your Spark is built on Scala. Even you can do Spark on Python, but the performance impact will happen. Here the data what we will be dealing, usually a big data guy would be in terabytes, 100 terabytes easily in the company. And even if you are delaying 1 minute, 2 minutes, it would be a severe impact. For 1 GB you are impacting even 1 second, you aggregate to 100 TB. How much of hours would be delayed? Because obviously first if you write in Python the Spark, it gets converted to Scala internally and runs the Spark code. If you directly write the Scala because with Spark, so it does not do conversion. And many people who know Scala, they are taken, company love, and I told you 80 or 90% of the project work mainly on these two things. I am giving you a simple trick. You know Hive and Spark, you can tell you know big data. There are remaining theory concept which you can learn. I believe you guys are not so dumb. You will learn and I will support. It's not a big deal. So you know these two things, you are getting a job. And in this Scala, you know, people are very less. I am telling, right? 4% of people are there. 4 people are there out of 100. And you know this, you are highly paid. You are highly paid than Python. One drawback of Python, let me tell, everyone is learning Python. You are one of 100 people. Okay, and you will again learn here Python, because I know you know Scala. Learning Python doesn't take 4-5 days. And here we don't scratch our head in all the object oriented programming, because we are not doing any web development. For your understanding, we are never doing web development. Web development need all the polymorphism, inheritance, singleton object, all those things. Here we need some very simple list, arrays, and some of the other things like sets, tuples, some creation of functions, how you create functions. Only these things, you play with this and become strong. Even in the interview they will ask this, because we are not a web developer, we are a data developer. And obviously with this SQL also they ask, they play with SQL, they start asking tricky question. And I know SQL is not very difficult. If you are thinking with Java like that of a technology, SQL is not very difficult, because I have seen most of my students what they are asked. So I am trying to give you an idea like what is required for you guys to learn and understand. Okay, so let me not elaborate too much like a rubber band. So what let me do, I will just give you a high level of the slide. It will not take more than 10 minutes, and let us do some small simple coding through Scala. So that is how I want my classes to be there. See, why Scala? I have already told. Spark is the number one. If you speak about big data, Spark is what which is very important. I don't want to go about history. I have a lot of books where you can read what is Spark in high level history, when it was invented. Even though in my coming classes I will be telling, but I don't want to bore. And Scala, as name itself suggests, it's a programming language, and why I have already told the difference. You can write in 10 lines compared to Java. Okay, and it's very powerful because some of the very important prominent applications are built on Scala, and Word is looking for a Scala developers. Many new applications are coming. And a static type means at the beginning only you give all this declaration. If you are in Python, you don't need to give var or val. Only if you give x equal to Arish, it will work. This is one of a layman term of understanding. Statically type means you have to give all the information before executing. So let me show you here doing a simple code. Very simple code. Okay. So I will do simple var equal to a equal to Arsha. I will write. See, one of the advantage of Scala is you need not to declare data type. You need not to declare data type, but you have to declare var. What is var? I will tell in a while. Just observe how simple to create some value. I have created a variable Arsha. How to see the data? You just type a, you get Arsha is a string. You can even create var a or b, whatever it is, equal to 20. It automatically compiled itself. A user has given integer. I didn't type anywhere integer. I just typed this var b equal to 20. It internally converted to integer. And one more important thing you have to look is all our data types are capital. Means the first letter is capital, string is capital, integer is capital. So you have to understand. And there are two types of things. Okay, let me go further. So one more way of declaring is val a equal to Arsha. Like this also I can do it. Val b equal to 20. Like this also I can do. So you understood how to create. The main understanding you have to understand is what is the difference between var and val. If it was Python, it was more simple. You need not to declare var or val. That is where it's dynamic in nature. Simple understanding. If you give a equal to Arsha, it works in Python. B equal to 20, it works in Python. But in Scala, it will not work like that. You have to any value you declare. You have to declare with var or val, or else it will not work. Okay. See here, I'll show a equal to 20. It will not work. B equal to whatever. If you want like this, I will do. It will not work. See, it is told reassignment to val, reassignment to val. That means you have to mandatorily give in all your Scala language var or val. Only then it will work. Now the next information, and one more good information is you are not required to give data type like var a colon string equal to Arsha, or else you have not mentioned any data type, it is not working. What is data type? All this string, integer is a data type. What kind of data you want to put into this value a? You want to put string, you want to put integer, that becomes the data type. So here you understood this, but you have to understand the difference between var and val. So let me go further. Here only we will see something. Obviously we did this. So directly I try to give x equal to 15. It showed an error. Okay. So obviously it's a mixed paradigm. Mixed paradigm means Scala is not only object oriented. Actually Java is not completely object oriented. We tell Scala as a pure object oriented. Why? Because once I start doing Scala, you will understand. I will do a little bit bigger code. Everything in Scala is written by declaring an object. You will see once I write the code in Eclipse, I will show it later, not today. That means it's a pure object oriented. Scala is Java is also not pure object oriented. We call Scala as pure object oriented programming because everything is declared inside object only, whether functions, variable, value, everything. And to this, it's also functional program. What is this functional program? Just I gave an example. Function inside the function is a simple way to understand, but this is not the only thing. It has like whatever input you give, the same output you will get. It will not have side effect. So not have side effect means you give some input as 10 into 2, you have to get an output as 20. If you are getting 30 means 10 into 2 equal to 20. If you are getting output as 30 means that has a side effect. Some of the programming language will be like this. You can change the input and all. In a full functional programming, you can never change the input what you have given. So all those rules comes. I don't want to tell everything because everything will not go to your head and many of the things are not required also. Okay, so because it's not like you learn one programming language means you have to learn A to Z. Okay, that is not required because while working in the project you want only which is required. Okay, so yeah, I was doing this. Yeah, mixed paradigm, support static lines because it's a static thing. See, usually if your data, if all these are data types, character, byte, short, integer, string, if your data types are not in capital, your all Java data types are not in capital, they are called as primitive data types. Here all your data types are in capital. This is one thing you have to observe. String is capital and integer is capital. Even if I write float, f will be capital. So they are not a primitive data types. Usually in Java it's called as primitive data types. One of the reason because all its data type are not in a capital. So that is one thing. Okay, so mixed paradigm I gave. Now let me come to the famous thing which I told you, like val and var. So let me again do with var a equal to 20. Okay, I have done var a equal to 20. See here. Now I want to change a equal to 30. Is it possible? Yes. Now see, the value of a is 30. Now I will try to do the same with val a equal to 20. Okay. Now I will try to change a equal to 30. Now seeing this, you have to tell me what is the difference between var and val. Because you are listening, I should not feel that I am speaking with a rock. So I am speaking with students. So seeing this, it's a simple thing. Where I have written, I was able to change e equal to 30, so I was able to change. Here I have written val, I am not able to change. So now tell me the difference between var and val. In a simple terms only you can tell. What you have observed here, that only you can tell. I am not asking any technical thing. What you are finding this differences? Simple. You can try. There is nothing like this one. Let us keep it interactive. You are getting, you ask me or you want me to repeat those things, please tell me, sir, whatever you told I didn't understand. You are always welcome to say. I didn't say that I will not ask anything. Okay, something like in the middle it comes, you make a note of it and ask me to repeat. But something I am telling, a core concept, if you are not understanding, you are always welcome to ask me. So yeah, since var a defines a variable, value can be changed, while val a assigns a constant value. Cool, that is what I was expecting. Okay, good Pragati, keep it up. So it's a simple thing. Okay, so it's not something which is very complicated. Usually val, in a technical terms only I'll speak, because, and one more important thing, yeah, I'll teach you in a layman term, but telling in the interview should be always a standard way. See how I will tell. Val is first var, right? Var is a mutable object in Scala. What do you mean by mutable in English? Mutable means the value can be changed. Val is a immutable object in Scala. Immutable means the value can never be changed. The value can never be changed. So understanding, right? Many times there is a question why we want it to make immutable, because when you are building application and all, it should not keep on changing. We need some constant value, as in the chat also it was told. We need some constant value, so we make it as val. When we want the value to change, we will make it as variable. But still there are, in the coming things I will teach about list, arrays and all. It would be confusing. Even if you do val using list, even if you use var using list, you cannot change. So not to confuse you, it's a step one understanding. Var is a mutable object in Scala. That means the value can be changed. Val is immutable, the value can never be changed. Let me show that example again. Anyone having a doubt in this, please ask me. I will use a string now. Now A equal to Mahesh, M-E-H-E-S-H, Mahesh. Okay, I am able to change. Now the value of A is Mahesh. Now let me use with val, because var is a mutable object. Mutable object means the value inside this A can be changed or modified. Now when I do with val A equal to what? Anything, Adam, whatever. Now A equal to something I'll do, Smith. It will not allow. It will directly tell reassignment to val is not possible, because vals are immutable. Once you create any object, it becomes immutable. Spark is taking lot of advantage of this immutability. How and all, it's a long story. You will not understand now if I say. Okay. So yeah, this is what I was telling, right? Where is my slide? Yeah. So mixed paradigm, you have understood about val and var, mutable and immutable. It's an English language. Mutable means you can change, immutable means you can never change. Functions are first class citizens because you can pass function to function. Many times many programming language will not give all this feature. Here you can do lot of things with function. You can pass function, get the output as a function. You can pass function inside the function. So many things you can play with function. That is why function, it is also called as functional programming. And for a Spark developer like us, big data developers or Spark developers like us, we use mainly the advantage of functional program. We are not worried about object oriented, because that is done with the web development people. But we want to pass data to one more place and get some output. So mainly we take the advantage of this functional program. That is one of the advantage of using Scala. Okay, and this is what it has written. Spark usually, see, Spark is one of the strong framework language written in Scala, obviously. So I can tell not even 50%, 60% of the developers write code in Scala to work with Spark. Some 20-30% of people use Python. Why they are using Python? Because they don't get a Scala developer. That is the main reason. Okay, I've always known, like, companies are using Python to work in Spark. The reason is they are not getting Scala developer. You are 2-3 people only Scala people, and some of the Scala people will go for web development. They don't come for the big data people. So you don't have any Scala people only. That's why what they do with Python, they do with Java and all. So you know Scala, it's super. With that you will also be learning Python. Okay, so that's enough. So yeah, obviously this I told. See, Scala, in the Scala compiler you can also do Java programming. Why? Because Scala, obviously you know, after Scala compiler it converts to bytecode. Even your Java converts to bytecode. Many of the programming language converts to bytecode. But other programming language like C, C++ cannot be run on JVM compiler. That is Java Virtual Machine, you cannot run. But your Scala is run on what? Java Virtual Machine. So Java can also be run in the Scala compiler. Even you can run Scala, because finally it is Java Virtual Machine. That means to install Scala also you should have Java in your machine. So I will also teach you the steps to install Scala, because if in your command prompt you can't do this, because I have installed Scala here. by installing first Java. See, I do Scala, immediately in my command prompt Scala will happen, but you try, it will not happen because there is some installation process. I'll give that file for you guys, so that what will happen, I can also show you programming and you can also do it parallelly. It would be more fun. Okay, so yeah, these are like I need not to say, the inventor of Java was James Gosselin, you know. Okay, so and for this I will tell you who is the inventor. There are two ways of writing Scala. This read, evaluate, print loop means this is a command prompt. Here you can write your Scala. And one more thing also we will be learning, Eclipse. This is a famous thing. In the companies and all we use Eclipse. We don't use this command prompt. Okay. You will get this beautiful graphical user interface, where even also here we write a bigger code like for loop, if loop, that control statements, all those programs we will be writing here. So you get this Eclipse. Let it open, it will take a minute. So that's what. Your Scala can be written in two ways. It's covering. I have to wait then. One is through command line and one more is IDE. IDE means what? This graphical user interface, what I'll be showing, becomes IDE, Eclipse. There are other ways also to run, but this is a standard way. Obviously you know this concept of mutable and immutable. Val is a immutable and var is a mutable. So statically typed, I don't want to speak more of theory. I have a big book of 500-600 pages. So yeah, I think this is enough as a theory. So let us see some of the simple Scala coding. So you will also understand how simple is our Scala coding. So let us see the coding over here. So now let me create list. So don't worry what is list and all. Let us see how to create, and I'll teach you this later. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, if you have a lot of numbers, you can't create only, if you have only one number like this, you can create like this. I have 5-6 numbers. I can't do like this. I have to use list or arrays or sets, something that are a part of collections. It's not only in Scala. You go to Python, you go to Java, you will have a list. Commonly you will have a collection. Under collection you will get list, arrays, and what are the other things, tuples, sets, all those things comes. That is what we require. Okay, so this is how I created one of the list. Now next thing, I want to see the first number of the list. There is a function called add. The first value of the list is 1. Using num.add, you are able to get the first number of the list. Now I want to get the remaining data of the list. Simple. What is the opposite of add? Type. You will get all the value like 2, 3, 4 you get. Next, you want to sum all this data. What you will do? Num. See, you have created a number of variable. What does num will contain? All this value 1, 2, 3, 4 would be inside num. That's why I am giving num.tail, num.add. Now I want to sum all these things 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'll do is num.sum. You will see 10. Okay. So now I want to get only some 2 elements. Usually in the company you will have thousands of elements, or you will give some file, you will have thousands of words. So now I want to get only first 2 numbers. So how I will do? We have one function called take. See, you are learning this means even in Spark we will be using all these things. You are also learning Spark, which is very famous. Many times in the big data interview, even if you have architect level, I have seen some of my colleagues where they are expecting package of 25-30 lakhs. The questions would be like this only. How will you get the second element? How would you get the third element? Build this, write this. Okay, you are going in that direction, I package job direction. So even if you feel, some people feel bugged off and interested, bored, you should always think, with this I will get a huge package. I have to put effort. Even it's obvious, your mind will never work how you want. Your mind would be always want to see some TV, WhatsApp, everything. That is where you have to motivate. Like with this, I get a very good package. See, no job will give you a very good package. Okay, so try to concentrate. I don't want to speak much. It's already 9:40. Okay, so any doubts you have, we can personally connect. That's a secondary thing. Because if it was a classroom, like I can see you and interact, but online, let us concentrate only on these things. Okay, num.take I gave. Now let me also create one more. See all this where Arish. It can be anything. It is just some value. It can be A, B, any name, anything I can do. And list of. What I'll do? List of. I'll have some duplicate data. Why duplicate data? I will tell you. Because you will get many times the scenario in the organization. What? To remove duplicate data. So you have a book or a file which has lot of duplicate data. Now you have to remove it. Simple. Distinct keyword, same English keyword. Even in SQL we use distinct. See here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 you got. It has removed duplicate records using distinct keyword. See, so simple. Next let me do one more list and try to get. Already I have a list, but let me show again and again how to create a list. So you also get some confidence. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I want to get the first value. First value was 1. Why did I get 2? What I have to get? What I have to write here to get the value as 1? Can you comment there? I don't want people are sleeping in the class. So now I wanted to get the value 1, but I got value 2. So what I have to write here to get the value as 1 as the output? Can you help me out for me? Help me out. Let me see here. I will take another 10 minutes and another 10 minutes. Yeah, good Kiran. Yeah, simple. Another 10 minutes. Let me get some doubts from you. That is better. So num.0 will give you 1. Can you see here? That means your index value will start with 0, not with 1. Okay. So num.1 will give you 2 the same way. So if I try to, okay, next I want to see what is the size. Here I can see from my eyes and count, but usually in the real time you will have a range of value, lakhs of value. So you do a size and you will get what is your size. Now I want to reverse my value, means from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 4, 3, 2, 1. It's a simple. Num dot reverse will reverse the value. Next, what are the other functions I can do? Like minimum, maximum also we can do. Means what is the minimum value? It's not the first value, it's what is the least value. Least value is 1. What is the maximum value? Maximum value is 4. Okay. So now what is the drawback? See, what I have created var and I have created num. So I have already taught you var is what? It's a mutable. Mutable means I should be able to change the value. So let me try to change the value. Num of 1 equal to something 99. Why I am not able to change the value? Can you help me out? Now you would be confused. This is where like things happen. See, I just taught you your first class. Var means the value can be changed. But now I am trying to change the value of, this is my, this one, right? Num. This is a num. I am trying to change the value of num of 1 will become this to 99. But it is throwing an error. Value update is not a member of a list. So anyone can help me out? So why it is happening? Any info from your side? Any idea? Simple. See, var is mutable. Only if you have var, it is mutable. But you have list also. In a single line you have var and list. Var here, list here. You should know list are immutable. List are immutable. And if you have var and list, list is given first priority. So there is no use of having var. Okay. Understand this what I have written. Var is mutable. Okay. Only if you have var it will work. But if you have var and list in a single line, list is given first priority. First priority means what are list? List are immutable. That means the value inside the list are immutable. That means you can never change the value. That is what it's happening. Value in the list can never be changed. That is why it is throwing an error. My next question is, I want to change this value. How can I change this value in this? So that is where you have to go for arrays. Arrays in Scala are mutable. Mutable means you can change the value of the array. So let us see how to do it. So let us create one array. Let me come here. Where all are simple. Where num, before I was giving list, now I'll give array. I'll give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Array is created. Now what I will do, I can even create this array also. You would have board with all numbers. Let us create with array of strings. Let us take some language as Scala, and next Python, next Spark. Okay, I have created this, and for your information we can do all the activities what we did with the list, something like this. End will give the first value, lang.tail will give you the last value, and num of 1 will give you what? Num of 1 will give you 2, because we have created array num of 1, and only num will print all the value, and it is showing integer, and also it is by default what it is showing. It is showing the integer and array of integer. Now what I will do, I will try to change the value of the array. So it should be able to change. So num of 1 equal to 99. Now let me see num. Can you see the value of num has been changed to 99? Previously, using a normal thing, we were not able to change the array. Now we are moving to the next level. Now what is the num of 0? Num of 0 is 1. How many total size or index is there? How to see? Num dot size. Simple. I need not to count also. So num dot size is there. Now maybe on the 9th I want to add some value. Maybe I want to add 88. Is it possible? Like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe 9th value I want to add something. So is it possible? It is throwing an error. That means I can't increase the size of the array. This is one more thing you have to understand. I can change the value of the array, but I cannot increase the size of the array. One more note, important note is the array value can be changed, but I can't increase the size of the array. Size of the array means it was 8 or 7, whatever, based on the index. If I want to add a new value after the value, it is throwing an error. So how to do it? So anyhow we will learn that in the coming class, but now I want some questions from you. So any doubt, any question on today's, because too much on the day one will go above your head. I think it was very simple, and one of the important thing I want to share is I want you to install it and do it together. That would be more fun and more enjoyable. See, one thing in life I have always observed or I follow, I don't like to watch cricket. I love to play cricket. Same way, most of the things I don't like to see. I want to do something. Okay. So that is how I hardly watch. So I want the same thing from you. It's good you see, but some way you become bored. Parallelly, if we do coding, because most of my classes would be like this. I am not a trainer. You would have seen most of the trainers who do some theory and boring, and it is no use. I have lot of soft copies where you can read and understand. Okay, but doing practically, it's like if I do theoretically, I am teaching you how to swim. Okay, so there is no fun, no use of teaching swimming. You have to jump and you have to feel that what's happening, then only you will learn it. Okay, however, some theory training is always important, but that's not the main thing, that too not in a technical word. Okay, so okay, all right, so this is a simple way of installing. See, you want to work here means you do command prompt. Okay, it will never work. You type Scala here, it will never work. What happened? Okay, one second. CMD. Okay, here I go. You type Scala means you will never be able to get this thing what I am getting, because I have installed. Okay, I have done this steps. This is a step. What I did for this, I have downloaded Java Virtual Machine, because Scala runs on JVM. If you don't have Java, most of the application even in a system, it runs on Java. You would have already have Java, but still I want you to do this procedure. Try to use the same version, download this, install this. Okay, next step is install this Scala software. Okay, and try to do here, all the path is given. You have to go to the advanced and set the variable. Okay, I believe you should start scratching your head and start doing, because everything if I do spoon feeding, there will be no fun. I am giving the script, you spend some time, that's all. After that you have to set this variable. Okay, somewhere in this path advanced variable, if you go to environment variables, environ, will it come, edit system environment variables, there will be some path with Scala. Okay, go to the environment variables, see, you get like this. Okay, somewhere you will have to install, you have to put one Scala path in this, right? See here, Scala path, you have to add the C program, Scala bin, something you have to add, that is what it is written. Okay, you have to go to the environment variables, advanced variable, you have to add this one extra path. Okay, for some people it automatically comes, if it is not coming you have to do, and this is what the third step says. After you install Java, install Scala, you have to set that environment path variable. How to do that? There is a step. Go to my computer, this property, properties, advanced variable, environment variables. I showed you, right? You go here. So here you will have this environment variables, this tab. That's what, yeah, that's what it is written. Go here and add that path somewhere. Add, edit. Not here, here, system variable. So you just start open and add. There is a path. Can you see here on the left hand side? Go here and start adding. You will not have, you add that. Okay, I have already. I will not. I am not required to add. So that is what it has told here. See here, it has given. Go to the path section. Click on that and start adding. So after that, in the edit section, see, they have given properly C program file. Even if you copy paste, it will work. Okay, then you type Scala, you will have a Scala and you can start working. So let me try to send you this. Is there any way to send? Because I usually don't use this Google Meet. Can we attach here? Okay, then what I'll do, I will, okay, let me see. Is there any attachment? I am not able to see here to attach anything. If no attachment, I'll pass to Shravana, so she will send you that file. Okay, so even through the WhatsApp she can send. Okay, that's all you have to do, and you can also start coding with me. Now any doubts in today's class you can ask, or any other general doubt also you can ask before ending the session. On anything, on job perspective, on learning perspective, on today's class perspective, any question you can ask me. Were you able to understand this today's class?
Yes.
Oh, great. Oh, yeah, that is what even I was telling. Yeah, it is very interesting, believe me. Even when I was a fresher 2 year, I started with ETL Informatica. Let me tell my journey, because even I was not a very bright student where I was interested. I was also interested in some other things. So once I went into the IT, and slowly, like, new things started changing. When you are inside it, you start learning and you start getting a lot of respect in the company, and you get good package, and everything would be interesting. That is what the fun which can't be explained. So you will also understand once you start learning all those things. I'm telling, out of 100 people, only 4 people are there, 4%. So if you are one among them, and it's not very difficult, people get scared because you have to put some effort, and you have to what, code it, that's all. No theory, boss. In technical word, no theory. If you learn theory, you will not get a job, believe me. You will never get a job. Okay, great to know that. How many days we can learn, that is left to you. Okay. Yeah, better create a WhatsApp group. Yes, I was also want to do that. I was telling, maybe I'll ask her to tomorrow create WhatsApp group. Okay, alright, I will send to her. Anyhow, Shravana is there. You have her number, everything. So I will ask her to create a WhatsApp group and send this file maybe tomorrow morning, or if she is able to send now, it's fine. Okay, any doubt you can ask her, and once it is a group, you can ask me also. Okay, then I don't want to spend more time. It's already 10. You can also have your dinner. Okay, good night, sweet dreams. Thank you. Bye. ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಗುರು, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬಂತು. ಇದು ಒಂಥರ